What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 212, and we start today's episode off by beginning transfer deadline day. Yes, this January month has taken a very, very long time to complete, but it's almost over. We do have deadline day, the last part of the January transfer window, and we start deadline day off with some fantastic news. This attacking midfielder from Werder Bremen, whose name I won't be able to pronounce until the new season, when I've done some research into how to pronounce the name properly, is going to join us on a pre-contract next year. Very, very pleased with that. He's going to join Carboni, who's also joining us on a pre-contract next year, and he was available. I think he's going to be the perfect replacement for Mesut Ozil, so I put in a pre-contract, he accepts it, and I'm very, very pleased with that deal. And also, we were still going in for a couple of players, Mancial of Augsburg. Now, this guy, I haven't mentioned it yet, but I will say it now. I think this guy is Frank Ribery's regen. Now, I don't know for sure, but I don't recall Ribery retiring in the game over the past couple of seasons. I still remember him being available last year, but now he's not in the game, so I'd imagine that's got to be Ribery's region. Of course, playing in the Bundesliga, left midfielder, French, he's already fantastic at just 17 years old. This is his first season of professional football, as he wasn't available to be signed in the summer, as it said he'd just joined the club, so I would imagine that is Ribery's region. So if we can get hold of him into the Arsenal team, I'll be very pleased. But also new bids for Kevin Savanier and also Lassie, currently playing for Barcelona even, the German midfielder. Wouldn't mind either of those two players, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. And also a bid for this guy, Pedro Mbar Ros Anon, an attacking midfielder who plays for Cordoba, 76 overall, 21 years old. Could be a good squad player for us, but might cost us a little bit too much money. And also this guy, Rafael da Silva Floro, who could potentially be Pepe's regen. God, I just love finding possible regens of players, I really do. This guy could be Pepe's regen. Pepe retired a couple of seasons ago. He's been available for just over a year now. He is playing in La Liga, of course, Portuguese centre-back. You never know. With regens, you never know for definite, unless it's obvious, like Ibra's regen, but there's a good chance, let's just say that. But still, Levante did accept a bid for him, and we offer him a contract as well. And as you'll see on deadline day, we were putting in bids which were over the estimations of the players by quite a bit. You can see Savania here is valued at £11.5 million, but we had to spend 30 million on a guy. The reason being is quite simple. The clubs were basically holding us to ransom over these players, and I thought, as deadline day, there are 10 hours available. Sometimes it goes by really quickly. I thought it's best to just put in a high bid straight away, just to make sure you got the best chance of picking one of them up, because otherwise you could put in low bids, you could back and forth, and then before you know it, you've only got 1 hour left and the clock is basically running out and you can't do any deals. So I thought it's best to just really go from it right from the off. And as you'll see, most of the clubs are okay. Levante, PSG and Barcelona all said the deals are okay for Pepe's regen, or possibly Pepe's regen, Savanier, and also Lassie for Barcelona. But as you can see, there are only 4 hours left, and still things were happening, but not much was happening as quickly as I would like to have done, so I could look for other targets. So basically, when we got to 4 hours, I realised now we've got a few targets here. This guy, Ribery's regen, possibly Pepe's regen, Savania and Lassie. These are probably the only 4 guys we could sign, because the other clubs are holding us to ransom, and I won't have time to scout for more targets. We go ahead and offer Rafael da Silva Floro a new contract. He wasn't happy with his first one, and also we saw that Lassie did accept his contract, so he was available to be signed, but I wasn't really sure about this guy. He does look like a good long-term replacement for Aaron Ramsey, but Ramsey's still doing pretty decent. He's 30 years old right now, so he's still got a couple years before he probably starts to decrease, so not too sure about the deal just yet. But as you can see, straight after that, Kevin Savanier accepted his contract. Now, as I mentioned before, so many of you guys seem to really want Savanier, and of course, due to the fact Savanier is going to cost us £30 million and Lassie will cost us £19 million, we wouldn't be able to afford both, because you have to keep in mind obviously the wages right now, the wages of the players as well. That would take a chunk off the budget as well, and the fact we're also going in for 1 or 2 more players as well. So we could realistically probably only sign 1 player. So I wasn't really sure. I stalled them for the time being. We still had 3 hours left, and I thought I'll wait and see what's happening with the other 2 players, Pepe and Ribery's regen. As you'll see, straight after that, we did get a transfer offer for Daniel Atta, otherwise known as Latan's regen, and he is going to go to Lorient for a season-long loan, which is fine. Again, I didn't loan him out to Real Madrid, if you remember, because I thought there was no point, he wouldn't play there. At Lorient, I'm pretty sure he'll be one of the first team players, so that's okay with me. He's going to Lorient, and I'm totally fine with that. And also, as you'll see, Da Silva Floro did accept his contract, as did Mancial, so that is potentially Pepe's regen and almost definitely Ribery's regen, both accepting their contracts, and that means that all 4 of the transfer targets that we knew we had a really good chance of signing were available to come in. So it was a case of who did we want to sign in this transfer window. We we could afford to sign both Ribery and Pepe's regen and one of Savanier or Lassie, or we could sign just Lassie and Savanier together and not Pepe and Ribery's regen. But I wanted Ribery's regen. I really wanted the guy. He's an exciting prospect. That's his tag, which means his potential should be between 85 to 89. Really did want the guy. Long-term replacement for players like Miyaichi and Campbell and Gnabry, so I'm pretty pleased with that signing. And also Pepe's regen as well. I wasn't really sure about it. 72 overall, 19 years old, £7.5 million. He won't get too much game time right from the beginning, but to be honest, when it came down to it, it was just a case of who would we rather sign, Lassie or Kevin Savanier. Those two were competing for a signature at this club, and in the end of the day, I wasn't really sure. I like the look of both of them. They both seem really good. Personally speaking, I wasn't bothered whoever we'd sign, so I thought, do you know what I'll do? I'll throw it out to you guys on Twitter. And again, a reminder, follow me on Twitter at @Clanders. This is why you should follow me to make decisions in career mode. As you can see, I threw it out to you guys. I said, who would you like me to sign on deadline day, Savanier or Lassie? I asked you guys to vote in the poll, and you guys said Kevin Savanier. It was quite a close poll, to be fair. 60% said Savanier, 40% said Lassie. Usually my polls go in the way that there's one outright winner and the other one doesn't come close. But that was pretty close, 60-40 in favour of Savanier. But it was your decision. I didn't actually leave it up for too long, the poll, because I just didn't have too much time in the day and I need to get this episode made. But you guys did want me to sign Kevin Savanier, so even though I would have liked to have signed Lassie to the club, I think it'd be a great long-term replacement for Aaron Ramsey. Savanier is going to come in and join us because of your decision in the straw poll, and again, thank you to everyone that voted, really do appreciate it. Again, I'm sorry if you missed out on voting because I didn't leave it up for very long. That's my mistake, it's just I didn't really have too much time, to be fair, and I need to record the episode as soon as possible. So Savanier is going to come in, and, you know, it's probably the right decision as well, because Kevin Savanier, like, you know, I've seen so many comments for such a long time, you know, the hashtags, I've noticed hashtags on my comments section of my videos saying hashtag bring back Savanier, so Kevin Savanier is going to come and rejoin us. That does mean that Lassie's not going to come in, but Pepe's regen was available to sign after I adjusted the budget, so that means we get 3 of those 4 players arriving, and yeah, to be honest, I'm okay with that. As you can see, here's Savanier's stats, 82 overall, 21 years old. Again, a reminder, he does have the potential to be special, so I guess it's worth signing in for that alone, really, knowing he could potentially hit 90 one day. And also Pepe's regen too, and also Ribery's regen. Again, this might not be Pepe's regen, but let's just say it is. And Ribery's regen, this guy is definitely Ribery's regen, let's be honest. But I was actually quite disappointed about this, because as you'll see, even though he's listed as a 77 overall left midfielder, he's actually only 75. We've had this glitch before, it's unbelievably frustrating. There's nothing I can do about it. And of course, the real negative with Ribery's regen is he's only got 2-star skill moves. Oh man, seriously, I was hoping for 5, 4, at the very least 3 2-star skill moves. What a shame, but there you go. Still, Ribery's regen coming in, not going to say no to it anyway, are you? So there you go. So that did indeed end transfer deadline day. As you can see, there were the main deals on the bottom right there. Garbett going to us, Morata going to Chelsea, and Savanier coming to us as well. Borussia Dortmund losing both Luke Garbett and Morata in their January transfer window. Jurgen Klopp must have wanted a bit of an exodus going on there. But even so, that did end transfer deadline day, so a very expensive one. I think I counted, well, there was an actual fee there. I think it was about £90 million spent in a January transfer window. That's insane. That's got to be my most expensive January transfer window ever. That was really incredible. But even so, it was a long deadline day, it was a long transfer window, but I'm pretty pleased with what we did. My main negative and my main criticism was I wasn't able to shift on a couple of the fringe players who will never play for this club, or presumably never play for the club again, in Josh Vickers, Emiliano Martinez, Amrabat as well. Pretty disappointed I didn't sell on those players like I really wanted to, because they're just wasting wages here, and I just cannot shift them on for the life of me. Thankfully, Vickers is going to leave at the end of the season as his contract is up, but even so, it was a productive window. Let's just say that we did a lot of business, a few new players coming in, Garbett coming obviously as well, being one of the big signings too, and again, you can see Martial there, Ribery's regen. Why he's gone down by 2 ratings, I do not know, but it's not the first time we've seen this. And yeah, it was an expensive deadline day, but I think we did some, maybe not some good business in terms of, you know, getting the best deal for these players, but in terms of getting the players we actually wanted, we did that. You know, we got the targets we wanted. You guys really wanted Savanier, so hopefully you'll be very pleased he's now back in the team, back in the series. I really wanted Ribery's regen, so I'm glad I got hold of the guy, despite the fact it does seem like a massive overspend. And, you know, Pepe's regen is just a really nice bonus. You know, now Koscielny's been sold on, and his high contract has now gone off the wage bill. We've got someone younger who's hopefully going to develop pretty nicely and on a significantly lower salary, so I'm pretty pleased with that. Here's a look at the league table as well. We are 7 points clear at the top right now, which is pretty decent as we go into February. And also you can see that Chris Ince and Craig Odubajo, well, Ince wants a new contract, no real surprise. He's now a first-team goalkeeper, and also Odubajo is pretty pleased with the game time he is currently getting. So, yeah, all in all, a productive window, an expensive window, a very expensive deadline day, considering the fact that deadline day sometimes for me is quite slow and quite boring. But yeah, it was a fun deadline day as well. You know, I was racing against the clock to see whether I get these signings made, and obviously throwing a signing out to you guys on Twitter. As I said before, I really do like to let you guys make signings every now and then, just to get you guys feeling a little bit more involved. So hopefully you're glad Savannier's come back in. I don't know whether I will play him through the middle or out wide, because as I mentioned before, even though Savanier is listed as a left midfielder by trade and right midfielder as secondary position, I do prefer playing him through the middle due to his low pace and very good passing stats. But we'll have to wait and see what happens with Savanier. Again, obviously Sanchez has now been sold. We were really frustrated about that, but now Savanier's come in. Maybe he's the long-term replacement for Sanchez that we wanted. You know, we just completely forgot all about the guy. Now he's back in the series. He could potentially be the long-term replacement for Sanchez that we really did need. Still following out, we had our first and only game of today's episode here as we took on Queen's Park Rangers at the Emirates Stadium. So taking on QPR for the first and only game of today's episode. The first chance fell to us, and Niang, well, uncharacteristically missed a bit of a sitter. Went through one-on-one, hit the woodwork, then it came back to him with an open goal, and he put it into the side netting. So very poor from Niang there. I would expect him to finish that one, considering what a fantastic season he's having. But in the 51st minute, as he comes through here, he rises a slide challenge and shoots. McCarthy makes the save, and QPR do get the ball away, but eventually it comes back to us with Kevin Savanier winning his header against Charlie Austin. It comes to Ryan Sarr. Sarr finds Murray Williams to Callum Chambers. Chambers on the ball for us, takes it round his man, keeps on going, plays it off towards Aaron Ramsey. Ramsey's then on the ball for us. We regain possession. Ramsey plays it inside towards Lazari. Lazari flicks it on, picks out Niang, and Niang finds the back of the net. So he should have scored in the first half, no doubt about that, but he's not going to miss that chance, and he makes it Arsenal 1, Queen's Park Rangers 0. So another goal for and by Niang. I mean, you know, who else do we need to look to in this team other than Mbaye Niang? The guy is always there when we need a goal. That's now 28 goals in the Premier League. This is absolutely insane. He makes it 1-0 to Arsenal, and as you'll see in the 79th minute, Vargas went pretty close with his header after he came off the bench, but he put it over the bar. But in the 90th minute here, good to see this as well. Savanier gets a debut assist for this goal, which Murray Williams scores. He crosses in the corner. I thought I'd give it to him. Left foot, in-swinging into the box, picks out Murray Williams, and he does get a debut assist. I always found Savanier to be a bit underwhelming, to be fair, in my time at West Brom and PSG, but hopefully now here at Arsenal, he's got a permanent home, and he'll start to play some very good football. But it was how the game would finish. Arsenal 2, Queen's Park Rangers 0. The final chance fell here, but Rojas' strike was well saved by Chris Ince and turned behind for a corner. So, final score, Arsenal 2, QPR 0. Very good to see Savanier get a very decent debut. Good clean sheet, solid win against QPR. And the crusade in the league continues, and hopefully the new signings will turn out to be good ones as well. But that is going to end the episode, guys, so as always, a big thank you for watching the video. I really do hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed today's episode of Career Mode, then please do leave a like, and I will see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.